Alright guys, so tonight we're at the shop and I have some boxes over here on the ground and we're gonna open the boxes. So this right here, this is a junkyard hose off of an IS300 that I purchased off of eBay. I think it was like $34 shipped or something like that. And I believe it has the proper hose end right here that goes in the compressor, and hopefully this is still the right end on this side to plug into the condenser stuff down there. Right here we have some heater hoses that I got off of Rock Auto. This is a Gates one, and this kind of goes in the back, and I believe I'm gonna cut it like right here and then cut it right there, and that'll be one of the heater hoses. And then this is another heater hose that goes from the bottom to the top, and we'll be throwing those on. I have this ECU Master EMU Black that we will be putting in the car tonight, hopefully after we install this wiring specialties harness. I believe I've talked about this harness a little bit. I don't know if I've ever actually showed this thing in the video, but this is a wiring specialties Pro harness. They don't actually make a Mark IV Toyota Supra harness as of now. They are planning on doing something like that in the future. So as of right now, this is a what you'd call like a universal harness, and so it has its own fuse box right here on the end with its own basically flying leads coming off of it. So the engine and the ECU will all kind of run standalone. I'll basically just give them power for you know, ignition, ground, battery power, all that stuff, and it has its own fan relays, fuel pump relays, ignition relay, all that stuff, and it's all loomed and everything correct for the ECU Master. It also has like everything set up for like the flex fuel. You know, it has a built-in map sensor in the ECU, intake air temp, wideband O2 sensor, the coil unplug things that we did last night. So we'll have just the individual coils instead of having the batch fire with the igniter. So yeah, we are kind of waiting on some other random things. But I think you know, getting this in the bay, getting the wiring harness ran, so that way, you know, we know where to run, you know, the downpipe, the heater hose lines, make sure that they're not, you know, kind of intercepting each other, as well as being able to have enough room in the cab to, you know, put the ECU and all that stuff. So, because like I said, this is a universal harness, so you can see all this length right here. That should go up behind the firewall, but before we do that, I want to unbox something special. You guys need to take some guesses on what this is right now. This is a shop present from me to the shop. I've been needing one of these for a long time. I hope you guys are as excited for this as I am. Are you excited for this, Ty?
I don't even remember what it is.
Well, I barely remember what it is, but I think I know what it is. You ready?
Squeegee.
Yeah.
There's already a squeegee there.
It's broken.
Why is it broken?
Well, I mean, I'll show you. Let's take a walk. Let's take a look at this squeegee.
You remember when I squeegeed the floor before and you're like, why you do that?
Remember when I squeegeed the floor last week and the squeegee broke and I was like, oh man, I need a squeegee, so then I bought one? So look at this. This is like one of those foam ones, and then it just broke. Like, you know,
I mean, that's 5 years old.
I mean, yeah, literally, we bought this at that stupid auction with that stupid bucket. But I don't know. I mean, we got a squeegee now, and this one's like curved, so it'll like, you know, we can just shovel all the water out. And it's got this dozer right there, so it'll just push the water all the way out. Removes 2 times more water with the same effort.
Heard it here first.
Alright, so I'm playing with the AC line. Come check this out. Yes, right here. So see this hard line right here? I guess we should probably shed some light on the problem.
Yes.
Right. So right here, this is a hard line. And then right here, this is the IS300 line. And I'm like, well, this is kind of weird because you can see how it goes over here, way over to the tire. Then I was thinking, I was like, well, so this hasn't been tested yet. We're still in the testing stages of things. So I think what we needed to do is just delete this hard line right here. I'm assuming that's why this line is so weird.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. Look at it now. Like now it.
It's like the right angle. You just got to get it through like the tow hook.
I mean, maybe the tow hook is just. I mean, maybe I just should take it off.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't know if I'm gonna be able to run that with the intercooler pipe too. Okay.
Actually, that'd probably be good. Way too long is probably better than
Not long enough.
coming out because it's only halfway through.
Yeah, I hate when it just comes out halfway through.
Yeah, we want to get the job done.
I wouldn't know about that, David.
Why not?
How's that looking?
Well, not good. See, it gets almost in the zone, but just this bend just isn't correct. I mean, I don't know how the IS300 is, if it's like straight up and down or...
That sounds like Kai, almost in the zone, but not.
Alright, so that's a no-go on the AC for tonight. I think we're gonna have to figure out something else with the other line, or I might just steal the AC compressor off of that guy and just use those lines and just call it good, just, you know, for the sake of getting this one going. Yeah, so I guess next on the agenda is I'm gonna pull off this intake manifold and then pull off all these harnesses. They're actually, you can see right here, this fuse box. Like obviously you wouldn't be able to pull that through the firewall. So if you follow it to right there, it's actually in its own like plug. So all I have to do is disconnect this, and then I'll only have to run these things. And there's a couple other little harnesses that come disconnected from it as well, which make it a lot easier to kind of integrate into the thing. And so you can see this is auxiliary sensors. So here's a couple extra things: digital in, analog in, digital out, like fan, relay, just a bunch of things like that I basically tie into the car. Alright, so that actually went a lot easier than I thought. I do need to get like an OEM style grommet to go right there, but I'm sure I might be able to cut that off like an SC300 or an IS something at the junkyard. But you can see the harness is long enough to come down here, and then from the factory there's a big, like a plate that goes right here, and it kind of covers the stock ECU and stuff, so I should have plenty of room to kind of loop that right there, kind of loop it back up, and then bolt the ECU to that. Alright, so you got the harness kind of laid out over here. And everything's all labeled, so you can see right here, this is injector number 4, injector number 5. Come up here, we have oil temp sensor, knock sensor number 1. This is, what is that, oil pressure, all kinds of things like that. And then so right now I'm just looking for the coil pack harness. I believe that's this one right here. And they just kind of start laying everything in the proper areas that it needs to go and kind of figure out how to go from there. So you can see coil pack harness goes right there. I think I'll be able to pull this back a little bit further. So I'm getting ready to install the fuel pressure regulator with the flex fuel sensor. So you can see this is the ECU master. It's actually like a Continental flex fuel sensor. So since I am running AN lines for everything, this has like the GM push lock fittings or like the quick connect deals. And then so it has these little guys right here, and you just unthread those, slip the little collar on that right there, and then it has O-rings on the inside of this that slip down with it. Okay, so that's pretty much how that guy goes on. Same for the other side. But so since I had that fitting or whatever, just the typical 6AN, where'd it go? Typical 6AN one, I decided to do a 6AN delete. Oh yeah, there it is. So I needed to get rid of this 6AN adapter and adapt it to this, but as you can see, that is a male and this is a male, and you can't put two males together unless you got like a little union or something. But I got this is a this little XRP fitting. Put a little bit of lube on these O-rings before we put them together. But so you can see that will just thread in there like that, and then this sensor will do the same. It'll just thread straight in there. So then this sensor will pretty much just be on the back of the fuel rail, just like that, or upside down, or however, and then that will just go, that'll be my return for the fuel. Alright, so everything is pretty much plumbed and kind of where it needs to be loosely. Kind of just set everything in there and kind of got, you know, I didn't officially plug in all the injectors and stuff. I'm just kind of making sure that they're all, you know, in the right spots. So, and you know, making sure the wires, and just in case I need to pull something back or over. So yeah, you can see this wire will be shown right here. A couple little wires up here, but for the most part, everything will be under the intake manifold, and there will be a couple little wires that'll come out over here. So it'll be a really, really clean, you know, shaved, tucked bay, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, I'm pretty stoked with this wiring harness. Like I said, everything's all labeled, coil 1, coil 2. All the injectors and that stuff. And then over here, this is what I was talking about with the fuel pressure regulator. So I finally got it mounted right here. So this is adjustable fuel pressure regulator, and it's built in directly to the back of the fuel rail. So I have the 8AN feed line right there going to the front, and then I have the fuel pressure, that's like the fuel pressure, it's FPDR, so it's the dampener, it's the fuel pressure dampener. And then in the back right here, and then right here we have a fuel pressure sensor, which is underneath there. You can't really see it right now. And then the fuel pressure regulator. So I'll be able to see the fuel pressure on the ECU and adjust it accordingly right there. And then that has a vacuum line, so I'm assuming it's 1-to-1. And then you can see with that little array of fittings and everything I did. So we have that fitting up on the top, going straight into the fuel pressure, or the flex fuel sensor. Plugged into the harness, that's all direct to the ECU, and then going down to the 6AN return. So that's pretty much the fuel system. I still do need to kind of tie everything up underneath and officially mount in there, but I was kind of waiting to throw it back on the lift to do that. But yeah, I don't have the coil cover back yet. But yeah, over here we have the coolant sensors, you know, the crank sensor, the alternator, you know, to charge it and everything. And then right here we have the boost pressure solenoid. So if we come over here to this ECU black thing, this is a pretty cool cool ECU. A lot of people are actually, you know, really starting to kind of figure out about these things, which is really cool. Adam has one in his Skyline R32 build. Alberto Big Boost, he's got one in his Beamer. But a lot of people, you know, even on the forums and stuff, this is definitely an ECU that is up and coming. So it's referred to a lot as like the best bang for your buck. So I mean, you could get like an AM Infinity or a Haltech or, you know, something like that. But in order to get it to control as much stuff as this thing does, you know, it's almost twice the price. Maybe not twice, but I think these things are right around $1,000. But they're really small. See how nice and small that is? It has a built-in map sensor, and they sell all their own sensors and stuff. So you can see there's the boost pressure solenoid, This is the 7-bar pressure sensor, which I already installed. I accidentally ordered 2 knock sensors. I believe I'm just using the stock knock sensors with the harness, but I think these ones might have a little bit more resolution, and we might have to switch to those later, but we'll see how the stock ones do. This is a intake air temp with aluminum weld-on bung. What is this? That was another one of those sensors. 7-bar pressure sensor. And then right here we have the oxygen sensor. That's just a Bosch 4.2 wideband. And then right here we have a temperature sensor, and I'm planning on using the temp sensor for the oil. So I'll do an oil temp sensor eventually. So, and then I got a little 8 dial thing, like a little 8 position dial. So I think eventually that'll be something I'll be able to tie into the ECU as far as like traction control, or boost level, boost settings or something. But for now, I think we're going to keep it simple and basically kind of base the boost pressure off of the the amount of ethanol that's in the tank. On pump gas, scale it back down the boost pressure, and then on full E85, crank it up. Yeah, we will be doing a ton of stuff with this ECU master in the near future. I mean, basically, probably in the next couple videos or whatever, we'll probably be messing with that a lot. Plugging in the laptop, actually going through all the, all the menus. There is a 2J vvti base map, so we'll just go ahead and plug in our injector data and everything from the Deechworks 1500cc injectors. Load a couple other more things into the tune, and then hopefully we will be able to get it started up. I should be able to get it started up myself. So, I'm definitely going to be taking this thing and having it dyno tuned, hopefully shortly once we get her all done. But, yeah. Again, it's kind of nice that the harness and everything actually made its way in here. And I will have to, basically pin off of that harness and, for like the tachometer and the, the ignition switch and all that little stuff. So, yeah, I guess I'm going to start messing with the heater hoses now. We need to get the heater hoses plugged in and see how those guys actually work. Alright, so these heater hoses turned out really, really nice. This one, I mean, that's about perfect right there. I just cut, basically the 2 ends of it, and this one I didn't have to cut anything on it. And here are the part numbers for the heater hose if you ever want to. This is the one that goes down to the bottom, and then this is the one along the back. So this is a Gates hose, and this is a Dayco hose. And I ended up getting them off of Rock Auto. I think I bought the last 2 Dayco ones they had. Because I bought an extra of each, and then I'm assuming that the Gates one you could probably get at your local hardware, or you could probably order it locally. So I left the tighter radius down at the bottom and this more swooping one at the top. So yeah, that should be good. And I guess now I have a little bit more of an idea as far as what I'm gonna have to do here with downpipe, as far as like coming down here and then going down there. I basically have some 90s, some 45s, and I'm not sure if I should try to do like some pie cut type of things. I mean, I am doing a 4-inch downpipe, so it is going to be, that's a big downpipe to be kind of squeaking in that area right there. I ended up picking up this saw right here, or a used metal cutting bandsaw. It's a Harbor Freight one, and when I got it, the blade was pretty messed up on it, so I went ahead and got a good quality blade on it, and I've been just playing with cutting a few little things. So I was thinking about trying to attempt some pie cuts, with some stuff. I also got a dual pressure regulator for the TIG, or the argon bottle over there, so that I could actually back purge, for doing the downpipe and stuff. So, waiting on a lot of parts. I mean, kind of put in, big order of stuff. I did 4-inch muffler, 4-inch resonator. I got a little tubing thing for some intercooler things. Those the vibrant clamps, the little, the ones that you just put the pin in, or the HD clamps, I'm pretty sure is what they call them. But again, the coil cover is at the shop neighbors, and I think maybe what I'll do tomorrow is try working on officially getting all of this, like the wiring bolted up underneath the intake manifold. I want to go to Lowe's and get a couple of these little P clamps, and these ones are just kind of small, and then the eyelets are really small, and I couldn't find my drill, so I couldn't even drill them out to kind of fasten them up there. But they only give you 4 of these bigger ones, and I need ones that are a little bit bigger to go around the actual wiring harness and hold it up underneath the intake manifold, kind of brace it in a couple spots and keep it clean. I don't know if I showed this thing. This is like a little 10 AN adapter for the power steering. I got a power steering cooler. I have 8 more AN lines coming for the power steering cooler. So we got a lot of things. I have a radiator over there. I have coolant hoses. I mean, we're just going to basically be spending a lot of time, you know, in the engine bay of this thing over the next like week, kind of buttoning things up and kind of figuring things out. And basically, a lot of that is still going to be waiting for parts. So, windshield guy came by today. We ordered the windshield, I think it was like 2 weeks ago, and it should be here by the end of the week, hopefully. So hopefully by the end of the week we have a windshield in here. We'll have the quarter glass and we'll have the back glass. Yeah, I guess that's it for this video, guys. Sorry if it wasn't too spectacular or anything, but hopefully you guys you know, kind of are excited to see the wiring and ECU and all that stuff in here. You know, or at least kind of getting a glimpse of what's going to be in here. I went ahead and threw the ECU right there on the ground, kind of seeing placement and then where I'm going to put that fuse box. But we should have a lot of room, hopefully. But yep, thank you guys for watching, and hopefully we'll see you tomorrow, depending on how this looks, and get some more things done.